So, it's summer, I got a little more time to watch some movies, and I want to catch up on some movies that some of the viewers are recommending. So I've been going through my comments, seeing what people want me to watch. This movie was recommended by a viewer called Black Powder Burner, and the movie is called Riki-Oh, The Story of Riki. I was familiar with this movie. This movie is a pretty popular movie on the internet. Definitely acquired a cult following. So what is Riki-Oh, The Story of Riki? Based off the manga, Riki-Oh is the story of Riki, who is sentenced to a prison, and as he's in the prison, he learns that the prison is up to some nefarious things, some conspiracy is going on. Riki has superhuman abilities, he has super strength, so he decides to put his powers to good use and solve what's going on in this facility. Now, this movie is over the top. This is probably the most over the top movie ever. It's basically a cartoon brought to life. And that's what I really like about this movie. I've heard of this movie. I've never seen it until now because a fan recommended it to me. So what makes this movie over the top? Well, it's cheesy, okay? First of all, the dialogue in this movie is super cheesy. Very obvious on-the-nose dialogue going on. There's numerous parts of Riki shouting in the rain, shouting to the sky, "Hi-yo!" like that, but probably a lot better actually in a real language. But most remarkable about this movie is the fact that it's so bloody. It's a very bloody movie. This guy has superhuman strength, and when he punches people, they don't get a bruise. No, they don't even get a cut. No, they fucking explode. Okay? You don't want to fuck with Riki. Okay? Riki is a strong dude. And when he punches people, they fucking explode. It's very fun to watch. And are the practical effects good? No, they're not really good. But it's the charm of it, and it's the idea of it, and it's just such a fun movie to watch for that reason. I'm just going to go through some of my favorite parts, because that's all you can do for a movie like this. Overall, high praise. Some of the parts I like, first of all, I like the characters in this, because they're very cartoony. The main guard of this facility is called Cyclops. He's got an artificial eye, and he takes his eye out, and he has mints in his eyeball, and he offers everyone mints, which is a pretty civil thing to do. This is like a stereotype, not a stereotype, this is like a cliche that I see in a lot of Asian, like Eastern film. There's always that one character who's like a man-child, who's a schlub, who's chubby, and has a bowl haircut. I see that in every kung fu movie, and this is no exception.
Hey, boss! Boss? Your Highness! Oh, he always does that right before he butchers someone.
The warden, his son, is the biggest bozo ever. He walks around with the mushroom hairdo, wears like stupid pajamas everywhere, and constantly does kiddie things like And his introduction in this movie is pretty over the top. It's quite beautiful. This is like something that's totally off topic, but just to show you how bloody this movie is, the guard, Cyclops, when we were introduced to him, he's eating a steak. And I thought I liked my steak rare. No, I can't even be compared to this man. This man eats his steak fucking raw. It's the most red piece of steak you'll ever see in your life. I fucking love this guy. one of the scenes, this is like the craziest scene in here. The guy takes his intestine, rips it out of his own gut, and wraps it around Ricky. He says, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. And so he cuts his stomach, wraps his intestines around Ricky. Totally off topic, by the way. But in Canada, we say
intestine
as
intestine.
And I had to try really hard just now not to say
intestine
because everyone bullies me when I say
intestine.
But yeah, when I watch this movie, I can definitely see some influence in modern filmmakers. The movie this reminded me a lot of was actually Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Just the fact that you have these different bosses and then a final boss. It has a very video game-like structure. I don't know if Scott Pilgrim was influenced by this movie at all, but it has a similar feel. You have like the Deadly Four, they call themselves, or some shit like that. And each one has their distinct personality. One uses like these knives attached to strings. One of them is this weird androgynous person. I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl. Each one has their own features, and then you have the final boss. And the final boss in this, holy hell did it not disappoint. That final boss sequence, I'm watching the whole movie, I'm like, I don't know if you can top, like, I don't know how you can have a climax to this movie, because this movie is so over the top. I'm like, how can you have a climax? And I see so many of these movies, especially movies from the 80s and 90s, where they just kind of don't know how to end, and they just end, and it doesn't feel satisfying. Not the case with Riki-Oh. Riki-Oh, this movie ends with a fucking bang. The warden, he fucking hulks out, becomes this huge monster, which goes against everything the film was about, but I don't give a fuck, it works. Ricky is punching this monster, punching holes in him. It's not doing fuck all. It's such a crazy movie to watch. I'm not gonna lie, there's a big blind spot in my film repertoire when it comes to like martial art films. I do know some martial art films. I've seen the Bruce Lee movies, not all of them. I've seen Jacky Chan films. I love some of his films like Police Story and Wheels on Meals. Even movies like Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle, those are some of my favorites as well, albeit they're more modern. But I just don't know martial arts cinema that well. And this movie made me want to dive more into it. Because if this is the kind of interesting shit I'm missing out on, this movie is such a blast. I can show you a random clip from this movie, and chances are it'll be fucking amazing. Wasn't that amazing? Look, this movie is crazy. I've been missing out on this movie. I've been putting it on hold because from the looks of it, I didn't know much about the movie going in. I just knew that I had to watch it at some point. But I thought it would be like a so bad it's good movie. And I don't really like those, to be honest. Like, they're fun to a certain extent, but then like a half an hour in, I just feel like an asshole for laughing at someone else's hard work. That's not the case with this movie. These guys, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were making the most over-the-top Kill Bill shit ever. Okay? This is Kill Bill before Kill Bill. And it's such a fun movie to watch. Another good part is the two people punch simultaneously, and one of them, their hand explodes, and it's just such a gruesome film. I was reading up on the IMDb trivia on this movie, and apparently John Hopkins med school, they keep a copy of this movie on hand because there's so many moments that that are apparently medically accurate, and I don't know to what extent, to be honest. You'd think John Hopkins has better material at their disposal. But hey, if they're watching Riki-Oh and fucking John Hopkins, I think I might join some med school if that's what they're doing there. Fuck that. My program stinks. I need to go to John Hopkins Med School, man. They're fucking watching Riki-Oh in John Hopkins Med School. The fuck am I doing here? I know what I'm doing here. I'm reviewing Riki-Oh. Overall, thank you, Black Powder Burner, for this film recommendation. I enjoyed it a lot. Black Powder Burner also recommended I watch Salo 120 Days of Sodom. And I've seen that movie already. I don't know if I can watch it again, to be honest. Two reasons. First of all, I have the DVD on Criterion, and I left it back in Canada. I'm not there right now. But even if I did have it on hand, I just don't like scat, okay? I can't deal with scat. It's the one thing in films I'm like, oh, get that scat away from me. I hate watching people eat shit. Okay, a movie like Riki-Oh, it has gore in it, I don't care. As soon as it comes to eating poo, that's where I'm like, fuck, I can't do this, I'm sorry. And to be honest as well, I know the movie is hailed as a classic or a cult classic, and it has a lot to say about World War II,
Italy,
and fascism and stuff like that. I don't know if it's because I'm not that well versed in World War II history. I don't get the movie, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sure there's some film buffs out there who are like, oh, you're just stupid, it's beyond you. To me, I see this movie, I just see a bunch of teenagers eating each other's shit. Like, to me, it's not that deep. I'm sorry, alright? Sometimes movies just don't resonate with you. I don't get Salo all that much. But yeah, this was definitely a good movie. Thank you so much, Black Powder Burner. And stay tuned, more commenter recommendation film reviews coming up.